Great timing for my cough. Welcome. How are you guys?
Good.
Good to hear.
Good.
So, joining me is at the top, Cynthia. Can't see my hand, but I'm signaling. And Amelia. And you are the directors and everything else for the short story Amnion,
Yeah.
which
Yes.
you've just seen the mood reel for. So
Yeah.
this is a horror movie and so much more. Would you like to tell us a little bit about Amnion?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to go, Cynthia, or do you want me to?
No, you can go. Thank you.
Great, amazing. Okay, yeah. So Amnion is a psychological horror, and fundamentally, it is about a communication breakdown in a loving relationship, and it is around the ideas of unwanted pregnancies in marriages and communications. And we've put it in the format of a horror genre film. So yeah.
Amazing. It looks fantastic what we've seen, the mood reel and all the graphics and everything. It definitely looks very well done and very professional. So you guys are first time directors, but you've been doing this for a while from other angles, right? So
yeah. So like I've been a producer for stuff for a while. I also co-wrote and produced a horror short a couple of years ago, where Cynthia also worked on that as an art director, and Cynthia's also worked in the film and TV industry for years as well. So this is just our first time in the director's chair, if you like. But yeah, it's very, very cool.
And then we had a question from Ether, who I was playing with just before you guys came on. How far along are you in development? Which I didn't know the answer to, because I don't know all the stages.
So the script is completely finished. We're basically ready to shoot. So shooting is scheduled for July 2022 in a beautiful place in Sweden that is right on a lake, because, as you may have guessed from the picture, there's something to do with a lake.
Yes.
Yeah, and everyone is cast and crew is ready.
Cast and crew is ready. So, the writer Joe is also starring in it, which I think is fantastic. I've read the script. I'm not a script writer or reader even, but I really enjoyed it, and we spoke about not spoiling too much, so I won't go too far into it. But it is so much. It is so much more than just like a horror movie. There's like friendship in there, and the communication between husband and wife, and so on. You can watch this film and not be a horror fanatic, as well as be a horror fanatic and watch it.
Yeah, and I think like what we were saying at the start, like how it's fundamentally about communication and stuff, but it's also about a group of friends that have kind of gone on this like summer holiday together to a lakeside house in Sweden. And it's one of those things where sometimes you find yourself in a situation where there's a group of friends that you're really tight with and a group of friends that you've only sort of just met, and there's an awkwardness in the atmosphere and no one really knows how to talk about it or broach it. So it's quite it's kind of like a horrific situation to find yourself in, and we've sort of been a bit, I suppose, meta with it by taking that and putting it in a horror genre film, or Joe has, sorry. So yeah,
exciting.
Also, I feel like I'm doing so much talking. So you got to tell me to shut up.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I
don't know if everyone knows, but I'm from Sweden. I'm not so good at talking English, so
you speak English as well as I do, which isn't a great benchmark, but is yet still a benchmark. So the traditional horror movie is usually like dark and like close and everything. Is this going to be slightly different because you're going kind of like summer in Sweden, summer holiday? Like, is it going to be more daylight in it? Less scary darkness?
Yeah, okay, now I can talk, Amelia, right?
Yeah.
No, the idea is to make it like I want it to look beautiful because I think you can find a lot of horror in the things that are beautiful too. So we're trying to play with that a bit, I think. If it makes sense.
No, I love it. I love it because I'm a scaredy cat. So anything to make it a little less traditionally horror and a little bit scarier, like I'm all in for that. If that kind of makes sense as well.
Yeah,
that's our plan.
I think, like, you know, what we want to do, like we wrote on our Kickstarter campaign, that we want to try and play with the genres of horror a little bit, in terms of, you know, we're normally cued into scary moments in film with sound, because it can be so helpful with that, and particularly with dark situations where you don't have a lot of light. We kind of get prepped, and it helps build that tension of like, oh, okay, something really scary shit is about to go down. And so we want to try and flip that a little bit to see if actually in the daytime, can we create that kind of tension and atmosphere by the lack of sound and by like the lack of darkness, and that actually we're shining a light on a subject matter that is quite difficult conversation for people to have, and putting it in this character that Joe's created that embodies that discomfort that hopefully is, you know, is scary as well. Yeah. She's written some great characters, so it's down to us to make them really frightening.
That's brilliant, because Ether was saying that a problem with horror at the moment is that it's started to be paint by numbers and a little bit predictable. So I think anything you can do to break that mold is going to really work out for you and make this thing fantastic. And not that I have any question that it will be or won't be. Hang on. Which way round do I I think this is going to be a fantastic project, and all the ideas just add another layer of why it's going to be fantastic onto it. So
yeah, thanks, buddy.
No worries. As you mentioned, you've got a Kickstarter going. The idea to fund some of this and get it off the ground and get it going. So what's brilliant is that you can go to the Kickstarter, which I have a little command for in chat that I'll just throw in there. So the link's there, a little bit of a synopsis at the beginning as well. So if I just read this beginning bit, it might give people a little idea as well. So Amnion is a psychological horror about the distorted reality of an unwilling pregnant wife. As her fear and anxiety builds, Eloise, our protagonist, is certain she's being stalked by a figure from the lake. This figure dangerously affects the perception of Eloise's truth, climaxing in her decision to face her inner turmoil.
Well read, Dowsy. Bloody hell, you did better than when you asked me at the
start. Ether, please ask away with your questions. They've got vision of chat, so we can pick those up. So here it's saying it's kind of like if you liked Hereditary, if you liked the others, if you liked Black Swan, this is going to be a similar vibe. Now, I don't watch horrors, so I don't know any of those.
So, like with those things, it was more this idea of, in all those films, what you've got is an element of the main character who is going through some sort of psychological turmoil, and that's affecting their perception of the reality that they have. So, like particularly with Black Swan, and Hereditary and the others, they're all female-centric characters that are really struggling with something in their lives that they've not actually found a resolution for, and it really affects what is happening to their environment, so much that they start manifesting these things that aren't actually there, and their reality becomes super twisted, which is exactly what happens in this film.
So as I like doing scoring, I was just interested as to who was scoring the project.
So we've actually been chatting to this amazing guy who's worked on a couple of things, not with us, but other things before. But we don't want to full on 100% say that they're committed, because until, like with most stuff with film, until you're a couple of months out and everyone's signed all those contracts and you're ready to shoot, it's difficult to lock people down. He's a fantastic guy who's scoring it. But we're always welcoming and accepting of anyone that wants to send us their like CVs and things like that. If anyone works in the industry or wants to get into the industry,
because I think that is what he does. I think he does scores for movies and all sorts. So maybe someone to look into.
Yeah, absolutely.
The mood
check
reel.
our email at the end.
Yeah, throw it in when you want. The mood reel though, that was all Cynthia's music, right?
Yes, it was. Yes,
you made that delightful, chilling masterpiece on the mood reel.
Yes. I haven't done music for mood reels or movies before, so that was a bit of a headache.
No.
But it was fun. It's just a mood reel, so it's fun to play with sounds and tunes, I guess.
Yeah, and like mood reels, the purpose of them, like they say, is to give people an understanding of the mood of the film, because we haven't shot it yet, so we don't have a trailer. We don't have like a teaser trailer or anything like that. What we've done is just taken the cinematographer Fredrik Sellegren, who's going to be shooting the film. He is the most fantastic guy, as well as being one of the best cinematographers around, like that we've worked with. There are obviously so many, and everyone's always saying like this person's the best and that person's the best. But we've worked with Fredrik on a couple of other films, not as directors, obviously. And his ability to communicate with us and to like really delve into the film, and he's just such a creative guy and so calm.
Yes.
Which is quite rare with DOPs, actually.
Right.
To have a calm DOP. But he's fab, and he also loves horror. So he was very very kind to shoot this on his. I think he's got a Magic 6K camera, and he shot this for us last year, actually, just to give you guys an idea of the mood.
Yeah.
But that location is where we're going to be filming.
Yes,
just
there was the shots of with the drone and of kind of the surrounding thing. I think that was really good because I don't know, you don't always know where you are, but I feel like that gave a good impression, and it's also, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too much into it, but the isolation of Eloise is also kind of like the isolation of the location that you've got as well.
Yeah, got it in one, man. Yes, Dan. Yes, bloody hell, Cynthia. I feel like maybe we should just give up and be like, Dan's doing.
Yes.
we've debilitated for months. People like, oh, we're so artistic, and this is pressure. And how do we get the isolation of Eloise into the environment?
Nailed it.
I'm gonna ask Downsy everything from now on.
Yeah, exactly.
I am a fan. I'm not a professional, so.
But no, actually, that drone shot was filmed by a chap who we're hoping is going to be our first AED, who's called Oliver Cardaby. So that bit wasn't actually shot by Fredrik. It was shot by Ollie, who's just got into the drone business.
Oh, that's a really nice statement from Ether as well. Sorry. He says, it sounds amazing. I love the fact that you're looking to push the boundaries with creating emotion in alternative spaces that may not generically be used all the time.
Yeah, thanks, Ether. Yeah, definitely. It's something that we're doing with all our storyboards and stuff, which is also like a thing, or maybe I'm jumping ahead, actually.
No, we're just about to move on to the storyboards.
Well, I was going to say, so like one of the rewards that we have on the Kickstarter campaign, or maybe we should first kind of explain why we're doing a campaign in the first place, seeing as we're like in the industry professionally. Do you want me to take that, Cynthia?
Yes, please.
Cool. So basically, like we've worked in the industry for a while, and we're obviously going to be applying to film funding bodies. And essentially, the reason that we're doing a Kickstarter campaign is because we need to be able to show these film funds that there is an audience for the type of films that we want to make as directors. So that's one of the reasons, and it really helps us when those applications come around. And also, it means that even if we don't get film funding from, in the UK, it's normally like issued by the government, I think. So it goes to like the British Film Institute, and in Sweden, it's the Swedish Film Institute and stuff. And when you apply to them, you've got to give this huge list of where your funds are coming from. And what we wanted to do is show them that, hey, listen, we want to make a short film, even though it's not our first that we're making as professionals, but our first as directors. And we don't want to do like something that's just shot in one room that is really simple, easy takes. We want to be a bit adventurous of it. And, you know, we want to get those shots in that are different and interesting, and also really utilize the skills of the cinematographer that we have. You know, we've got some underwater shots and things like that. And it's about encapsulating as much as of the adventure that we want to have as directors, but also making sure that the film that we deliver is of a quality that people are going to really engage with and love watching. And that should cost a lot of damn. So yeah, we're just kind of putting it out there and seeing if there are people that want to get involved in helping us create this film and support us in that, you know. And we've got some amazing things to give back to anyone that is able to support us. So
some super exciting rewards on here, which we'll get to. So I'm now on your Kickstarter, and we've got down to storyboards. And what's phenomenal, and I don't know too many Kickstarters or anything, but having a little flick through, none of them really give away this much detail and this much, not necessarily detail or anything, but actual kind of like, hey, look, we're doing this, it's fantastic. Here, we'll show you. So do you want to give us, without giving away the story, like a quick run through of what these storyboards mean and what they kind of represent? Because I'm looking at the top line here, and then the second line is slightly different. So what's the difference between the two sets of storyboards?
I'm having a hard time seeing your screen.
Oh, sorry.
So I guess I've got it on my computer actually.
Oh, you have?
Screen on the left, yeah. So Dan, so are you talking about like the drawing style? So on this top line that you've got,
it's flat.
And then underneath you've kind of got these black bars that are at an angle, right? So that indicates the type of filming style that we're doing for that shot. So those two black bars, when they're tilted, means that it's going to be a handheld shot.
Oh, okay, cool.
As opposed to a Steadicam. So all these storyboards that we have done, which is one of the things that the rewards will give you. So I think the first reward that we have is like the behind the scenes production diaries. And so we're going to be doing little videos that go into explanations like this, that talk about like what goes into getting a storyboard made, like what type of software we use, like why do you even need storyboards in the first place. And it was just to give a glimpse for people on Kickstarter to see the type of shots that we want to make, so they get a bit of an understanding of the type of film that it's going to be, and also to see that we know shit, and these are the decisions that we've made along with Frederick of how we're going to shoot this film. So it's to help guys that are coming onto our Kickstarter page to be reinforced by us knowing what we're doing. I feel like I'm rambling quite a bit.
No, and then
no, you're not.
On the next set of storyboards, are they displaying underwater shots? So you're taking the camera into the lake?
Yeah, man. Yes. Wow. So you see that little, I don't know if you can see it down, so that little red arrow that's on that first image.
You're out the lake and then you're going into it.
Yeah, so any arrows that are red, and again, this is like, these are general rules for storyboards. Some people have different color schemes and some people use different ways of doing it. This is just what we've done. It's not necessarily like 100% industry standard, but so whenever there's directional arrows, that's obviously indicating the direction of the camera. So in that first shot, what we've got is a handheld and the camera is directing down underneath the water.
Clever. I like it.
And it really helps, sorry, go on.
No, but in the underwater scenes, we're gonna play a lot with the sounds as well.
That's really cool.
Yes.
Does it take post-production sound recording when you are underwater? So, like, I don't know. I guess people aren't talking underwater, right?
Yeah, well,
I might ask the stupid question.
No, not at all. There are actually that scene underwater. They are having a conversation, but this is one of the things that we want to do is. Oh, I'm trying to say stuff without giving things away. It's really
don't give anything away. Let's move on. There's going to be some fantastic surprises.
There is a conversation under the water, though, so yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. It sounds really ambitious as well, which I think you have to be when you're working in this industry, because the biggest complaint is, oh, I've seen it before, or it's happened in this movie or whatever. So
Yeah, and we're trying to make a stamp, aren't we, on like, hey, this is Cynthia and mine, like visual style. This is how we want to make films. So, you know, like we know in ourselves what we want to do and what we want to produce, and what we want people to experience, and that's something that we're going to put into our film, which is essentially artwork, isn't it?
So moving down on the Kickstarter, we learn about your team. You got some fantastic producers working on this with you. Trying to pick out the name. Lena. Come from Hollywood. Look at this, flexing in her video. Yes. Look at me on Hollywood.
She's like, bam, look at me in Hollywood. So Lena is a Swedish producer, and she's based in Los Angeles and Sweden.
Nice. Yep. Ethers said infrafrequency response theories would be really cool with this project, as they can induce feelings of fear and awe. The sound underwater would be really cool, as well as Foley. So it's so nice to play with.
Yeah, definitely, buddy. You're on our track, man. Yeah.
So I'm purposefully not playing these videos in the Kickstarter so that people can go along themselves and enjoy it in their own time. I'm just throwing the link in again, just in case.
Who are this amazing person that's writing that kind of stuff?
Ether.
Ether was the dude that was asking us who we had working on the score. And that was when I was like, you can email us something. So we'll drop our email in the bottom. And anyone can give us an email with any questions or stuff that they have.
So for the fans, the reward tiers are the most important thing. What do we get for giving you our monies? And I think this is some of the most fair. Well, no, it's not. It's like you guys are giving it all away. Like for just £10. I didn't know
what you were going to say then.
No,
you were going to be like, this isn't very fair, Amelia.
No. For just £10, you get your name in the credits, poster design votes, and access to the online behind the scenes videos detailing film production process from start to finish. Like that in itself is phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like there's loads of campaigns that are going around, and loads of people trying to get stuff made, and it's certainly not to shit on anybody else's campaigns or anything like that. But one of the things that we've included in every single reward, you're not paid to get your name in the credits. That's a given, right? Of course, if you're going to support our film, of course you're going to be in the credits title at the end. And also what we thought would be a really cool idea is like, no matter, I just pulled my hair. What? It's like no matter what reward you get, you also get a chance to vote for the official poster that we have. So when the campaign's all finished and when we're done with the film and we're starting doing our poster designs, what we'll do is send an email survey out to all of our backers with 2 poster choices, and everybody gets to vote which one will be the official poster, which is wicked. Amazing. So that's like your baseline on every reward.
Right.
Yeah. And then so this first one, the behind the scenes production diaries, is just kind of things that like, you know, Cynthia and
Amelia all our breakdowns on video.
But it's like things that you know you love as film fans that we are. Like, you know, we love cinema, and even though we work in film, it's still awesome. I think I love watching behind the scenes stuff. It's wicked. You know,
I was saying to Ether before you guys joined, it's like getting the story twice, because you can see what you're presented with and also see what went into it and so on. So then the next reward is the digital goodie bag.
Yes.
So this one includes a digital download of the film, Amnion poster, soundtrack, production stills, and wallpaper.
Yeah.
Again, like £10 was a good bargain. 20, you're getting the same thing, but then like more than twice as much. Like you guys are really pushing the boat out for the rewards on this one. So the other thing I want to point out, Amelia's made all of these like designs here, and what's super cool is the arm is growing. Look at this. We'll get to like the bottom rewards and you'll see like a full arm.
Yes.
So then,
but whose arm is it?
Ooh.
The film, and you'll find out.
Yeah, back it, get it made. So £45 is a physical goodie bag. So you're printing off all of these posters signed and the production stills and film stills.
Yeah,
Again.
and that includes like delivery as well. So it's a bit of a jump between £20 and £45, but it's all the hard copy stuff, and we're shipping worldwide, and all the postage and packaging is of course on us.
Amazing. And then we got special rewards, and this is the tier that I'll be going in for. So someone thought, hey, making a film is hard enough, but I've got more time on my hands. So let's make a graphic novel about the movie as well.
Yeah, this is Amelia's baby. This is really good.
So Amelia, as well as directing, producing, I imagine so much more, is also going to be making a graphic novel of the short as well. And just look at these art designs. It's proper. Like, you've nailed it.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
No worries.
Well done, Amelia.
Thanks, Cynthia.
So the special rewards include the graphic novel, right?
Yeah. So, and you know, that graphic novel on that page is just an example to show you guys what sort of style the graphic novel will be. So it may differ slightly to that when it's completely finished. So for the moment, I've literally just done one side of it, and it's taking the story that Joe has written of Amnion, the film, and giving a little bit of prequel stuff and some little extra scenes in there as well.
Max
I'm really excited for this one.
Like,
yeah, I know, me too.
Nausicaa Valley of the Wind? Nausicaa?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that. Sorry, Max.
Yeah.
Is that a comic book?
Yeah, it's a Studio Ghibli.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, it started off as a being made as a comic book and graphic novel before it was made into a
nice. And then so that's £70 for the graphic novel, but this is the tier that I want to be in. You can get a printed version of the graphic novel, like a physical book.
Yes. So the £70 one, and again, it's a jump from like 45 to 70, and that's because you'll get the graphic novel, which will probably be in the region of like 25 to 30 pages, I imagine, and you'll get like a digital copy of that, and then obviously everything else that is included above that. So that's again something that I just wanted to highlight for those that aren't familiar with Kickstarter. When you go to like the next reward level, you get everything above. And then, the printed one is obviously going to be a beautifully, amazingly packaged printed version of the graphic
I feel
novel,
like you don't want free time anymore. You're like, screw it, I'm not having any more free time.
Yes, I know. But this will all be delivered. There's like delivery dates on the Kickstarter information about these rewards. So the graphic novels themselves will be delivered in like December 2022, so next year, just so that it gives us
ready for Christmas
time to get everything done. Exactly, man. Like, it's the Christmas gift that keeps on giving.
I think that was like one of your unofficial taglines, isn't it? Like, horror's not just for Halloween.
Yeah. Horror's for life, not just for Halloween. Yeah.
More for your marketing than for your movie, I guess. So then we've got the next tier up, which there's two, but you can either go to a screening in the UK or in Sweden as part of the reward, which would be a hell of a party, I imagine. So you've learned all about the movie through the behind the scenes blogs and vlogs and so on, and then it's finally time to see this thing. And you can go to a party and watch it with everyone who's been involved and everything. That's a fantastic reward.
Yeah, man. And we've got Cynthia, who is like the art queen. So she is so amazing at making things look spooky as shit. So that's why we've got it kind of horror themed. So we'll go all out when we the venues that we have where we do these screenings, one in London and one in Gothenburg, where they'll just look and feel like you're having an experience. So it's not just about seeing in the film, it's about joining us in this environment that we've made it really horror-y for you. And then also afterwards, you know, just chatting about the film, whatever questions you want to ask, and also just hanging out and having a drink and just getting to be with people. Just make sure that everybody knows that doesn't include like flights and accommodation.
No,
you gotta find your own
it
place.
says quite clearly here, you'll provide your own travel and accommodation in London or Gothenburg. But if anyone's keen on it, let me know, and maybe we could travel together or get like something like. So if anyone's keen on that, reach out, and maybe, I'm not saying I'm paying for everyone's travel and accommodation. I'm just mean like maybe we could dig in on like an Airbnb or something. Like
if I'm going, as many people come as possible. Like, and especially those of you guys that are watching Downsy on his Twitch stream, which I just have to say, like, thank you so much, Downs, for letting us do this and join your stream. Like, your Twitches honestly give me such your Twitches. Is that what you would say? Your Twitches give me like such joy, and just your like endless laughter and your genuine enjoyment of how much you die when you play your games. I love it.
You're too sweet.
I think loads of people do. So real big
You're
thanks
far
for that.
too sweet. So I don't know if I've read this far down, but we've got two. Why this film? Why now? And why us? Amnion is fundamentally about communication breakdown due to an unwanted pregnancy. Even though Joe wrote this in early 2020, the timing of this film is right now. It tackles inherent stereotypes around parenthood, miscarriage, abortion, and the right to choose and own the decision we make.
Yep.
The time of this is phenomenal. It's gonna be a great story, and not to give too much away at all, but there's stuff going on around, and it kind of confronts it. And I think you said earlier, it's a conversation that isn't something that people want to talk about, but it is something that people have to talk about. And kind of shining a light on that is just phenomenal. As we type this sentence, laws have been passed that people with a womb that put people with a womb in severe danger. More and more countries are producing legislation that threatens the life of those who don't want to be pregnant. And there's a link here to get more information and so on. So it's fun and it's scary, but also there's important messages around there, and you got a lot of support for the conversation. We got another video from Joe, which is the writer and actor. Again, I'm not going to play these so that you can go and watch them yourselves and then take the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Information about everyone involved. Also, sneaky little insider here. There's a couple of links here to your previous work, and I've seen both of these projects, and they are phenomenal. And they're like, that's a full short, and that's like is that still a short at like 20 minutes?
Yeah, so Spiritus is something that I was a producer on, and Cynthia was the director, or was it like...
No, I did a costume and makeup, special effects.
Special effects, yes, yeah. And so much more. And so that's about a 20-minute short. And then Wash, which got released in 2020, was the thing that Cynthia was art director on, and I was producer and co-writer. So,
Wash is probably the scariest thing that I've watched in like 3 years. Mostly because I don't watch scary things, but Wash was absolutely horrifying, and you should be really proud of your work on that one.
Yeah, we are really proud of our work. It was a real slog, and it's been a really great film. But I also just love how Cynthia's just like dancing. Cynthia is a hardcore horror lady, much more than I am. So things that I actually crap my pants at, Cynthia's like, oh please.
Yeah, no, I don't deal with it at all. Like, it was horrific. It was horrible. And then you've got your special thanks to everyone that's kind of given you assets to use and so on here. So
yeah, it's like it's always important for us to make sure people get the credit where credit is due, especially when it comes to things like we've designed all the stuff for our campaign, like the poster and everything and all those sorts of things, but we've also used assets from, there's an amazing website called Unsplash, which loads of photographers have donated like free to use images, which is great. And so it's just about like making sure that the things that we have used where people are like, oh, can you give me credit, they actually get credit for it, which you'd think would be a given, but it can be quite difficult to, especially in the age of social media. You kind of, things get lost a bit, don't they, on who's done what. So but yeah,
so I had an idea this afternoon.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't tell either of you about this because I didn't think about it until after I spoke to you, but I've got a little game that I want to play with you, and it's called Horror or Horrible.
Okay.
Okay.
I got a little jingle that I'm going to make up right here on the spot.
Go.
Woo!
It goes, is it a horror or is it just horrible? Is it a horror or is it just horrible? So I went through a stack of DVDs.
Whoa. Was that the jingle?
That was the jingle.
Yeah.
That was very short.
Yeah, I only do short ones.
2
How
verses.
am I going to do this because I can't see, so...
It's okay, I can read them out to you. So first, we've got 28 Days. Is it a horror or a horrible?
Wait, what is that? I can't see it.
Yeah, but it's...
It stars Sandra Bullock. And the synopsis is Sandra Bullock is a successful New York writer and everyone's favourite party girl.
Well, you know what? That might be a horror situation for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has to spend 28 days in rehab. To be fair, when I picked it out, I thought it was 28 days later. So this one might be a dud. So we'll move on to the next one.
Yes.
In Time. Is it a horror or a horrible?
In Time?
In Time, starring Justin Timberlake.
Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah. God. Nay. Sorry.
I actually quite enjoyed that film, and what I was most impressed with is the amount of times they said the phrase "in time."
In time.
What's it about?
Justin Timberlake has a clock on his arm, and when it gets to 0, he dies.
Oh.
Okay. We'll put that on the horror one with 28 Days. Okay. Shriek, If You Know What I Did Last Friday the 13th. Horror or horrible?
What?
So
Horrible.
you remember Scary Movie? This is like a rip-off of Scary Movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
have
is...
you seen that, Cynthia? Oh, have you seen it?
Have you seen
it? Yeah. Cynthia, I'm so surprised.
But I also said horrible.
Horrible. So that goes on the horrible pile. Okay, we'll put that on the horrible pile over
I
here.
understood this right. Horrible. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Next is Blade. Horror or horrible?
It's not horrible, but it's not horror.
No, yeah.
We'll put that in the middle.
It's like gore, isn't it? I guess. Although,
it's not gore. Blade is not gore.
So this is where everyone realizes that Cynthia's standards of horror are way
higher
above
than
everybody
the average.
Else's. And often our conversations together are like, no.
Hey, Element, I hope you're well, buddy.
Horrors.
Okay, so we put that one like in the middle, but then we have Blade Trinity. Horror or horrible?
Horrible.
No, I have to say, I love that, and mainly because of Ryan Reynolds. That guy is so funny.
I thought he was playing Deadpool.
What, in Blade Trinity?
Yeah,
yes, yeah. I was just about to say this. I feel like with Ryan Reynolds, he was doing that like breaking that fourth wall perspective thing way before Deadpool. He was really trying to, like, really pushing his eyes to the camera and being like, come on, guys. But I think he's wicked in everything, actually. I think he's great. But again, as our aficionado here would say, that is
horrible.
Not a horror.
Okay, next.
I don't know.
Electra.
Yes.
Horror or horrible?
I've not seen.
No.
No.
I'll decide for you then. It goes in the horrible.
Okay, good. Darcy, where are you getting all these films from? Are they just in your collection?
These are in my collection. I've got many more. We're about halfway.
Okay, amazing. But also, you don't watch horror films. None of these are going to be horror.
Wait.
No.
I don't know. Okay. Daredevil. Horror. Or horrible.
Oh dear. I have not watched it.
We'll put that on the horrible file then.
Yes.
Also, how long is this game? Because I feel like we're trying viewers now.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more, but they're getting more serious.
Okay.
They're getting more serious.
Okay.
1408. Horror or horrible? Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like it's like a hotel room in there, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, is that the... Yeah, okay.
It's based on a suspense master, Stephen King.
You're gonna write the story and he's in the...
Yes.
No?
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
John Cusack delivers a tour de force performance as a skeptical writer investigating paranormal events, which I believe...
I'm going to say that's a horror.
Horror. I believe it's based around relatively true stories. There's like a weird thing that happens in this hotel room. But yes, here we go. Ignore what question? Max, what question are we?
I was going to say horror if it's...
Okay, we'll put it in horror. No?
Are we going to answer horror if we like it, or if it's actually a horror movie?
I haven't fully fleshed out the rules.
What's the rules,
I was going to say, Cynthia is a lover of rules. You have to have rules in this game.
Essentially, I just wanted to shit on Daredevil and Electra for a little bit.
No, I'm not.
So I'll put that in the middle, where it's not really a horror, but it's not horrible. Next, Donnie Darko. We got Donnie Darko. Horror or horrible?
I really liked that film.
I like it.
Horror. Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know why. So In Time and 28 Days Later, I just disqualified.
But it wasn't 28 days later.
No, it was just regular 28 days.
Zombie. It was just 28 days.
Okay. Next, 7. Horror or horrible?
Horror and one of the best films that I've enjoyed. That's a real psychological horror, you know.
Yes.
Nice.
I really did not see that end coming. Yes, what's in the box element? Yes.
What's in the box?
Oh, so good. So good.
Some of these are horror films. I've got 2. Next, Final Destination. Horror or horrible?
Horrible.
Horrible. Okay.
Okay.
What if it was Final Destination 2 though?
No.
No, still in horrible. You're in charge, so we'll put it in the horrible.
I feel like if Cynthia ever was in that film, she'd be like, please, this is not death. As if death would just like blow something over to kill me. You guys don't understand death. Also, I don't know why I'm giving Cynthia this weird persona. She's not like that at all.
It's been a lot of that, Amelia. I'm not like that.
Yes, I know.
Then we have The Butterfly Effect. Horror or horrible?
Oh.
So I wouldn't say that was a horror.
Really? But the guy jumps at him.
It's good.
It's a really good film.
All right, that goes in the middle then.
Yeah, really good film. Again, it's another example of like a film that really plays with the distortion of reality. So yeah, it's actually Element. I haven't seen the alternate ending of Butterfly Effect.
Oh, it gets weird. Oh, you probably should.
Oh, okay, because Element's just written like horror with alternate ending. Yeah, okay, right, I'll have to.
Yeah, the guy jumps at you doesn't make it a horror. Yes, it does, Max. And then finally, my favorite horror movie. But horror or horrible, Scream.
Now listen,
it's horrible.
Well,
Disconnector. Where are the mods?
This is where we differ. Cynthia's going to go for a horrible, and I'm going to go for a horror. Like Scream was actually the first horror genre film that I saw, so I've got a lot of love for that film. And I watched it back recently over Halloween actually. But yeah, I'm always got time for Scream. It was my first venture, Cynthia. Forgive me.
Cynthia's having none of it. So
Cynthia's definitely like
everyone can like Scream if they want.
Thank you, Cynthia.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
It's okay. It's okay for you not to like. Cynthia's very much into like we were talking about this earlier, weren't we, Cynthia? Like how you're really into kind of like classical horrors and.
Yeah, if it's gonna be classical, I like horror. I like the classics. But I also much into like this thriller. Like I like a good old serial killer.
Yeah.
Like Scream. He comes straight in, gets Drew Barrymore, and that's it. The film hasn't even started yet. Killer.
No.
What's your favorite scary movie? Drew Barrymore's like, who the fuck are you? And then the killer's like, I'll show you who the fuck I am. And stabs her. Yeah. And then the titles roll.
I
then
have seen
Scream.
the movie.
Yeah, no, but I'm with Element on that. Like, yeah, just like completely going straight in with killing, like within the first 15 minutes is it or something?
It's
or 5 minutes.
The titles haven't even run yet. Like it hasn't even told you what film it is, and she's dead.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Spoilers. Right. If you haven't seen Scream yet.
After watching Scream, I could not cook popcorn on my own for ages.
Wow.
So I was like, oh.
So is it safe to say there are no Scream masks in Amnion?
No, it's not.
No, definitely
confirmed.
Definitely no Scream.
We got the scoops. We got the scoops here.
Yeah.
So that's the end of my game. Thank you so much for indulging me in that stupidity.
Thank you. Thank you for making the game.
Such fun. Thanks, Downs. That was wicked. I sounded super sarcastic then. Such fun.
Not a problem. Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for having us.
I'm really looking forward to learning more about Amnion as we get through the production videos once you've been backed and they start up and so on. So I'm sure we'll get there. And if anyone wants to support it, even like retweeting it is helpful at this point.
Yeah,
but,
completely. Yeah.
If you want to spend some money, then you can go to Kickstarter, and the link is in the chat. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me.
Thank you so much.
It was so enlightening. Like I didn't know that we would even get all three of us on a screen at one point. So this has been well above what we expected.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dancy.
No problem.
Yeah, that was really great. And we should definitely mention Kiki's thing.
Yes. So if you enjoyed this and you'd like to know more about films and get the inside track on films and so on, Kiki's doing her first ever movie podcast today, which is called Kiki and Friends, and she's leaning on her visual effects friends to kind of get in depth into movies that we will have all seen and all know and love. So today she's covering Spider-Man, the first one, Homecoming, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Endgame. So if you want to know a little bit more about behind the scenes on that, we can shout out Kiki Low. But I'm fairly sure you all know her. But there's her link as well. But that's in like an hour's time. So please tune into that. In the meantime, though, I'll say goodbye to you guys and get onto a Just Chatting screen and then say goodbye to all the chat.
Yeah, yeah. And also, just wanted to say, repping with your
yeah.
beanie,
Element was a bit jealous of the beanie.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you.
No worries.
Bye.
Bye.